Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 2, Brighton 0. Manchester United into the FA Cup semi-final, which ultimately is where we want to be. Very, very, very happy about that. I've never seen Old Trafford so empty. Did that really satisfy what United fans wanted tonight? The reality is, the cold, harsh reality is, we're in the FA Cup semi-final and Jose Mourinho will be ecstatic with a 2-0 win because Mourinho lives in results, not on performance. The other harsh reality is, I mean, realistically, the divide remains the same, doesn't it? You've got people on the fence, you've got people who aren't very happy with Mourinho, you've got people who want to give him time and support him. And the reality is, 2 shots on goal, 2 good chances in 90 minutes against a team that parked the bus and created more chances than us. Matic with an assist and a goal would be arguably man of the match. Lukaku with a straightforward header from Matic cross, and then Matic from a header when their Brighton player slipped over. Made it comfortable in the last 10 minutes, but I would argue that maybe Sergio Romero was actually man of the match. He made 3 or 4 key saves. Brighton had far more chances on goal than us, despite playing very negatively and parking the bus and hitting us on the break. And United, who were basically invited onto Brighton, created 2 chances in 90 minutes at home against Brighton and Hove Albion. It's not going to convince people that that is what we want to see from Mourinho. Made some big changes today. I was pleased with the starting lineup. No Fellaini was a big positive. Sanchez deserves to be dropped. Pogba, I don't know what's going on there. And it was good to see Martial and Mata play. I thought they were our best 2 players in the first half. I thought Jesse Lingard surviving till the 87th minute was, miraculous. I thought that was one of the worst performances I've seen from Lingard in a long time. He's just not a number 10. The number 10's got to be creative, and Lingard was not creative in that game. He really was very disappointing. But Manchester United won the game, didn't he? But if I'm going to start taking some calls, Skype Goldbridge is the thing for you to call in. I want people to talk about the press conference from yesterday. You can talk about the game tonight, of course, because the game's just happened, but I want to see what people's opinions are about Mourinho because it's the first time we've had a call in since that. So looking forward to that as well. But what I would say from my point of view, and I don't know what people think, is that what is abundantly clear is what I said on Wednesday at 1 o'clock when I did the tactics analysis for the Sevilla game, is that Mourinho's coaching staff is so old school and past it that it is so abundantly clear tonight that there is a big problem with the way we are playing football, because Brighton invited us on, and when I was watching Liverpool whilst we were doing the preview, I had it on the telly, and Liverpool scored a lot of goals tonight and Salah got 4 goals, but they didn't score every chance they had like United did with their 2 only good chances. We scored both chances. Liverpool must have created about 20 chances in that game because they take risks in the final third. They're trying to take risks with their passing. They will try and pass, and half the time it doesn't work. Half the time it does, and half the times it works. They don't always score. A keeper saves it or they shoot wide, but they're forever taking risks in the final third like Man City, like the best teams do. We take no risks. We don't take any risks in the final third. There's no risk pass. There's no attempt to split their defence. There's no attempt to knock a ball over the top. There's no attempt to play quick play. We just don't take any risks. Our approach to football at Manchester United is pragmatic and slow and lethargic. And if there's not a simple pass on, pass it backwards. If there's not a simple pass forwards, pass it sideways. There's no, right, I'm going to play this pass and there's a 50-50 chance it's going to come off. But if I keep playing it, eventually it will come off and we'll create a chance. There's no attempt to do that. It's nothing to do with the players. Don't blame this on the players. Don't blame Sevilla on the players. Don't blame tonight on the players. It is the way we are playing football in an attacking way is so pragmatic and conservative with no element of risk. And that's what I enjoyed about that game tonight, because I know a lot of people were bored, but what I enjoyed about that is that we actually were in a position, like Sevilla and Liverpool, we parked the bus and we soaked up the pressure and we hit them on the break. But against Brighton, they basically said, come at us, what have you got, what have you got? And we had a lot of ball in the final third, but we hardly played a risk pass. We just kept going side to side, back, side, forward pass, side, back, forward, side pass. Nothing. No penetration, no speed, no risk in the final third. That comes from the coaching staff. That's not the players. You watch someone like Juan Mata, Martial, Rashford when he came on, Sanchez, Pogba in recent weeks. These are players that if you stick them in a Liverpool or a Man City team, they'd look 10 times better because their manager would say, I want you to take risks. They're not allowed to take risks. It's so obvious they're not allowed to take risks. It's so pragmatic. Mourinho shows he's a student of Van Gaal, says Sabatashi. And boring football means fewer fans means less money means less success. Playing like this will cause us all to fall further behind. That's from Alex Williams. Let's take the first call of the evening. Let's see what Manchester United fans have got to say. Got a few calls here. I'm just trying to break them down and grab a call. First one is going to be hopefully... come on, don't let me down. Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Too slow. I can actually hear somebody there. It's frustrating. Can you hear me? Right, I'm going back to live comments. What's the point playing football if you're not going to entertain people? Entertain people who pay hard-earned money. Results business, blah, 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 says Lee Ellis. Only our creative players are... Josh, can you hear me? Only our creative players are suffering coincidence, says Antogan. I'll never understand why Mourinho continually give Mickey any chances to play himself into form, but Pogba just got benched, says Alex Ferguson. Not happy with Shaw off, not happy with Fellaini on, not happy with Pogba not starting, says Jay Colthurst. Very good point, actually. We didn't no understanding as to why Luke Shaw was taken off. Got no idea why that happened. No idea why that needed to happen. I mean, Ashley Young did obviously get a goal in the second half, get an assist in the second half, but is he injured? I don't know. We will have an update on Jose Mourinho's press conference as soon as we get it. Sabotage, he says our creative players are becoming defensive. I literally fell asleep watching that, says CR719. Biggest crowd of the day, says Pigeon55. I don't think United's was. You play football for fun, attack better and get more goals, says Salim Hussein. Can Mourinho's football still win big trophies, says Alex Williams. The past few Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues winners suggest no. Shaw was bad, that's why. Did Ashley Young do anything better in the second half? All right, he put a cross in, we scored from it. But is that how shallow we've become as a supporting group now? That we judge people on an assist for a goal? I thought Ashley Young got turned inside and outside by the Brighton player yet again when he plays at left back. I actually quite enjoyed Luke Shaw's penetration down the left-hand side and his willingness to get forward. Maybe that's just me, but I didn't see a bad performance from there. And I've got my own eyes. I don't need to be told what that he had a bad performance. I don't think he did. We need a new manager, says Vignesh. The Theatre of Sweet Dreams, says Little Miss Nintendo fan. It's not our players' fault. Bring Salah in this team, he would be a flop. Gents Tech. I actually do agree with you. I don't think Salah would score 20 goals in this team, let alone 40. Don't understand why Shaw was subbed off. Bay was good, says Paul Lucas. Well, our defensive players were good because they had a lot to do, didn't they? A lot to do. We will be taking some of your calls. All I would say is just don't all try and call in at the same time because we're getting a lot of calls. I want to get as many in as I can, but it can blow the system. We're looking at a new way of taking your calls because it just gets really difficult when... Jack Carr says, I really don't think Mourinho has the winning mentality anymore. What he said in his press conference was not something a motivated winner says. Skype's a bloody nightmare tonight, folks. That's all I can say. Shaw gives us balance. Shaw didn't do what the manager told him to. I've got somebody on now. Hello?
Hello, Mark.
Who's that?
It's Josh.
Hi, Josh. What do you want to talk about, pal?
Just wanted to talk about Jose Mourinho and how he's basically never going to change.
Okay, go ahead. Floor's yours.
Well, the thing is, Jose Mourinho, ever since he was a manager, when he started back in Barcelona as Louis van Gaal's assistant, he's always had a way of doing things. So I'm confused why the United fans are all of a sudden shocked about his approach. You know, I don't really care about his approach because I accepted it. I sort of took an L to his management style. So now, what I'm seeing, I'm not surprised because I've seen it at every single club. So I don't understand why everyone's talking about the United way and the United way. Like, didn't we all just sort of sacrifice the United way to get short-term success back with Jose Mourinho? And he brought the cups back last season. So I think he's done more than enough. I don't understand why the fan base is so against him at the moment.
I think it's very simple, Josh. I think it's the standard of football is just boring people to death. I think I don't think as well. I don't think it's the sort of progress that United fans want. I don't think Europa Leagues, League Cups, FA Cups are really what United fans want. They want the Premier League and the Champions League, and I think they feel he's not going to get anywhere near it with this style of football.
Fair enough, I understand. I'll be honest with you, me myself, yeah, and what do you call it? I was always Mourinho out from the beginning, but the thing is, like, fans really don't really have a say, so I don't really see the point of what do you call it? Of just protesting against it, because at the end of the day, the Glazers and Edward Wood, they're going to be happy with him as long as he comes top four. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think the board clearly, Mourinho, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts in relation to his press conference yesterday were, but he says that the board are totally behind him. So, he's not going anywhere. I think, personally, I'm just hoping that we start to see some better football. But to me, tonight, it's just so clear that the training and coaching of the players is the issue. There's, 2 good chances in 90 minutes at Old Trafford. Oh, we can celebrate the fact that we've won, and it's great. I want to be in the semi-final of the FA Cup. But we don't. It seems to me for the last 3 or 4 months we've created hardly any chances.
It's true. We haven't hardly created any chances. But Mark, like, what do you think? I know obviously, like, we're supposed to be against City and Liverpool and all these clubs, but do you think having got Pep Guardiola instead in 2016, where do you think would be right now? Do you think someone like Fellaini would have even touched the ball? I think the first player Pep would have sold is Fellaini, or maybe try him out centre back. He would have definitely got rid of Rooney, Ashley Young, all these players. So, like, do you not think, like, our next step that we can take is get a manager like Pep Guardiola instead of someone like Mourinho? Do you think once Mourinho's time finishes, we should get a manager like that with that playing style instead?
I think the club, as a club, we've took 3 pragmatic is the kindest word, with Moyes, Van Gaal and Mourinho. We've took 3 very pragmatic managers, i.e. defensive managers, and that's been picked by the board. I would hope that they would look at the history of the club and go with somebody a little bit more attacking. Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, me too, Mark. One thing I wanted to ask you, because I've been watching the United stand since Mourinho actually joined. One of the reasons why I actually started watching the United stand a lot is because the way you were one of the few channels that was actually slating Rooney at the time when he was starting for no reason. So that's one of the reasons why I became a big follower of the United stand ever since then. But one of the things, Mark, I wanted to ask you was, Andres Pereira. In the summer when you were insisting that he should be in the team because he was one of the best players in La Liga. I actually watched La Liga a lot, and Andres Pereira wasn't actually that good, to be honest. With Sporting, what club was it? I forgot the name of the club, but he wasn't actually that good that season. Andres Pereira, like, I think he's honestly overrated. I don't see what you see in him, to be honest.
I tell you what, I think he'd walk into the team at the moment, because I look at Manchester United creativity, and I think Pereira would bring a lot more than some of our players, to be honest. I mean, I know, at La Liga he was at Getafe, I think. No, not Getafe. I forget the name. They got you've made me forget now. He's definitely at Valencia this season, anyway. But he's not. I don't know what Mourinho's going to do. I've got no idea what he's going to do in the summer. I've got no idea what he's going to do the next game. He still managed to bring Fellaini on, didn't he? And keep Pogba and Sanchez on the bench. And we've now got a 2-week break. The reality is, we're going to beat Swansea in a couple of weeks' time, and it's all going to be about the Man City game, and that's when people are going to really sort of say what they think. But thanks for calling in, Josh. Thanks for being in the first call.
Mark, can I ask you just one last thing? Sorry, I know I've spoken to you for a bit.
Go on.
You see how you say Messi is, what do you call it? He's not as good as Ronaldo because he never left La Liga, and he's only stayed at one club. Would you say the same thing for people like Scholes and Giggs and all these legends, one club legends that stayed at one club? Do you think they're not good enough because they never went to Italy or Spain?
No, no. I mean, very quickly, I think in relation to Messi, you're talking about the best player in the world. I don't think Scholes or Giggs were the best players in the world. I just think Messi, Ronaldo. For me, Ronaldo's done it in 2 leagues, and Messi hasn't, and that's it.
Fair enough. Just want to shout out to a few United stand followers that also my friends that watch this, Kayton and Salman and Kadar. But anyway, Mark, cheers for having me on. Take care.
Cheers. No worries, Bale.
Take care. Bye.
Mourinho's just talking now, so I'm trying to listen to Josh. We will take another call, but I just want to see what he says. He's not happy with the performance at all, but I'm happy with the results. So yeah, he's not happy with the result. I spent 2 games building up and the ball arriving earlier in between the lines and in attacking areas, and that depends on qualities and decisions by the defenders in possession, but also depends on the movement from the attacking players. When I spent 2 days working on these and I arrived here and attacking players hiding behind defenders and not wanting the ball in between the lines and defenders, just playing passes and taking 10 or 12 passes for the ball to go from one line to another line, I have to feel frustrated, because I think, as they could be, biggest frustration sometimes is not the result, because a bad result can happen, but sometimes the biggest frustration for me is when I walk on the pitch and I see contradictions in the match. So, I mean, fair play to Mourinho. He's having a right pop there. A lot of what we've had a pop at ourselves. Interesting. Let's take another call. Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, you're live on United Stand. Who is that?
Sharif.
Hi, Sharif. What do you want to talk about, mate?
Basically, Mourinho, man. Same thing I guess everyone else is talking about.
Okay,
I'm
go
kind
ahead.
of like with the last caller in the sense of I kind of think people are just expecting a lot more than Mourinho basically does anyways, in terms of his slow football and the quick success. I don't know what everyone's kind of expecting what's called the Ferguson way, when he doesn't actually do that anyways.
Okay. Why do you think that is then?
I think the problem is that everybody kind of like are still kind of living in the Ferguson era and kind of still look up to that. So when you look at football now, it's almost like, obviously it's very boring, but Mourinho is only really here for a quick succession. He's not really here to be here for 10, 15 odd years. Mourinho literally just going to come here, get a couple of trophies, and then keep it moving. He's going to leave. Once he's kind of like built the success that he thinks can satisfy his kind of like ego, he'll just be gone.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
wondering what you think about that.
I'm trying to listen to what he's saying as well, because I'm looking at the live comments. He's actually doing his interview at the moment, and I think he's thrown a few players under the buses. I'm sorry to being so ignorant to your question here, but I've got it up on like subtitles as to what he's saying, and
It's all right.
okay, sorry, what was the question there?
So I was saying, don't you think that the Man United fans are expecting too much of a Ferguson way, when Mourinho literally is only here to grab a couple of trophies and then kind of like leave once he's gained the ego of what he's trying to win? Like, he's only here to win 1 or 2 trophies, and then once he's got United to where United should be, I don't think Mourinho will be here. He's not a long-term manager. He's kind of like a short-term.
Well, he's just said there that there's some players with a lack of class and a lack of desire in a Manchester United shirt, and Scholes has come out and said that should have been said after the Sevilla game. So it's interesting, isn't it? This is a squad that he's worked with for 18 months, and he says that players are hiding behind people and not stepping up. As a player, that's going to be pretty damning for a manager to be saying to that publicly, that your desire is being questioned and you're hiding on a football pitch. So I just think we're sort of moving from one lack of I don't know. I'm just very interested. I mean, what do you think about that? Mourinho publicly coming out and now slating his players. I think this should have been done after Sevilla and not tonight.
Yeah, he shouldn't really be slandering the players. But I think the problem is that the players aren't necessarily the players that he wants. And I think I look at what Mourinho has done at other clubs, and I think Mourinho is trying to play these so-called like fringe players, or should I say not very good players, to try and make it sound like he's still a very good manager. I still think he's trying to prove to the media that he's a good manager by trying to play these so-called not so good players like the Ashley Young, the Fellaini, to try and build his ego that he is this very good manager and it's not another Pep Guardiola that always needs money, but it doesn't seem to be working for him.
No, I mean, what do you expect him to do in the summer? I mean, I think we've had the conference yesterday. We've had what he's just said there about certain players. I think that's going to be the end for some players. A lot of people are speculating that it's Martial. A Luke Shaw. But what do you expect? I mean, the reality is he's almost playing a catch-up game in relation to media relations now. He's got to desperately try and win the fans back, and those sort of comments some fans will agree, some won't. And I don't know. I just think he's now gone and done another press conference that sort of adds fire to the other press conference. It's like there's controversy every time he opens his mouth at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what I think will happen in the summer, it's difficult because you look at how Man City are going, you look at the kind of strike force of Liverpool, you're kind of looking at United, and it's like the midfield is a huge problem. You got the left back, and then you got the defensive pairing issue, and then you even got the Sanchez situation. Is Martial still going to be there as well? Doesn't really look like it at this moment of time. So he needs to spend at least 300 million to even get close to Man City, just because Man City will be able to strengthen again with another 300 million if they want to.
Well, he said that yesterday, didn't he? He said that yesterday that that if they spend any more money in the summer, no matter how much I spend, I can't catch them. So that, in some fans' views, that's pretty much throwing the title in for next year.
100%. I think Mourinho is playing a very clever game, because what he's basically already starting to do is bring in these so-called problems of next season before it's even began. So let's say Man United can't spend 300 million. We spend 150 million. We finish second again. Mourinho's just going to come out and say, well, last season I did tell you, if Man City spent money, there's going to be a lot of problems. So he's already throwing in the towel anyway. We can all see that. But it's just Mourinho trying to create less problems for next season, and almost trying to fool the fans in a way by basically telling the fans that, look, if we can't match Man City, you can't really come back to me next season and say, oh, why are we not fighting for the league? Because we ain't spent the money.
No, I agree. It's we'll have to just wait and see, but it's getting more and more interesting. Thanks for calling in, mate, and please do call again.
No worries, man. Appreciate you picking up the phone, and I'll speak to you again, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, pal.
No worries. Take care. Bye.
Say, oh, wow.
Shane, can you hear me?
Because we ain't spent the money.
How you doing, Mark? Right?
I'm good, thanks. You? Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I just wanna it's Shane. I just calling to speak about Jose.
Yeah, go ahead, mate.
I'm not really care about today's match, to be honest. I have no interest in today's match. It was boring. To be honest, I fell asleep. That's the honest truth. But in terms of Jose, I've been Jose in. I think me, you, and a few others been Jose in the whole time. But I don't want him to be sacked. I just want him to hurry up and do his one more year and just leave my club, because he's took the absolute piss. I'm 27. I've known Jose since I was 13. I've been watching this man. And Tuesday is the first time I've seen him purposely try and lose a football match to make a point to the board. I'm not stupid. I've never been a dumb football guy. You can't just bring the worst player back from injury and start him when we just played direct football against Liverpool with Lukaku. The style of play, I don't care that we were playing direct football. It's the fact that he brought Fellaini to do what Lukaku did the match before, to insult my intelligence. Like, you tried to lose the match purposely. That's why you brought Jesse Lingard in. That's why Ashley Young started again. I don't care you played well against Salah. That's the problem with Man United fans. As soon as we have a decent match against someone, we want the shit players to start starting. But Jose I've never seen him purposely try and lose a football match before, and he did Tuesday. And I'm never going to forgive him for that. Just hurry up and leave my club. Like, hurry up. That's all I'm asking.
I don't know whether you've heard his post-press conference, his post-match interview, but effectively, there's no difference in the second half between what Ashley Young did in relation to the heat mapping and what Luke Shaw did in the first half. But Luke Shaw has basically been substituted because Mourinho wasn't happy with him getting forward. Now, Paul Scholes has just said Luke Shaw could play fantastic and Mourinho would still find a problem with him. It's just obviously not going to work there. He's then come out and questioned play. He said McTominay and Matic were brilliant, but he said some players are hiding. They've got a lack of class, a lack of desire. We presume he won't be talking about Lukaku because he loves Lukaku. He can only be talking about Lingard, Mata or Martial. Now, my guess would be...
He's not talking about Lingard or Mata.
Yeah, so he's talking about the one player that many Manchester United fans believe is probably our best player.
And you need to understand, we're choosing in Martial every goal. if it's Martial or Jose Mourinho, go. Martial's gonna be here for 10 years. I'm not. And Man United, we're not a player power club. Like, we back the manager all day, as long as you're doing right by our club. But this man lost to Seville, a team that Leicester beat last year. Leicester, a team that's 5th in the Liga. La Liga is a shitter league than Premier League. I don't care about the one to talk about the technically and all that. The Liga is a shit league, yeah? They're 5th in the Liga, and then you're going to come out and say you've set here before. You set blah, blah, blah. Bro, hurry my club. Like, the end of the day, Jose's biggest problem is, I remember Don Terry saying in his last spell that they don't train attacking football. He doesn't train. There's no philosophy when they attack. He allows elite players to free them to do what they want to do. But the only thing they do is train off the ball. And it's true. It's anyone common sense can see there's no team chemistry when we attack. Because when I see Martial play for France at the moment, it looks far better when he plays for France than Man U. It's the same thing with Arsene Wenger. When you see Ramsey, Chamberlain, or Iwobi, anyone go internationally and come back to Arsenal or Ozil, they look far better playing for their international club than Wenger, because Wenger doesn't coach. He tells the players to go express themselves. Like, he doesn't coach. So Jose has completely let me down, completely let people that wanted him end down. I just want him to do his job, win us some trophy, and just get out my club. He's took the absolute mick, because he purposely tried to lose on Seville because he didn't, like a baby, he threw his prem out because he didn't get the money he wanted in the summer, which you pointed towards the whole summer, Mark, that Jose is not happy with the transfer market. But so because of that, you're not going to make us go to a quarterfinals because you're trying to prove a point to the board that this squad is not good enough. And then you're going to talk about if Man City spend 400 and we spend 300, there's nothing I can do. Then, Jose, leave then. Because I only wanted you here because you're a better coach than Pep, which he is. He's a better coach than Pep because Pep's only inherited all-time great players. So I don't want to hear nothing about Pep Guardiola, or we should have got... Pep Guardiola can't build a squad. Jose can build a team from scratch to finish. Jose Mourinho, it became a football manager, became great from literally being a genius at coaching. He's a great coach, but I have no attachment to him because he's completely let me down Friday by playing our 4 worst players purposely, by dropping the winning team that played excellent against Liverpool. Playing the football we played. Mark, the football we played on Tuesday was the same football against Liverpool. The only thing he did was bring in our worst player to make the football fail even more. Like, I'm not stupid. He lost that match purposely. All this rubbish he's talking about deflecting. No, you're the problem, Jose. He's the problem why Luke Shaw looked better under Van Gaal than he's done over Jose all this time. It's not about weight. Jose has a problem with attacking players. And if it's between Jose Mourinho and Anthony Martial, I've never said this before, because this ain't Chelsea, we're not Real Madrid, we're not no power where players run out. The gaffer runs Man United. The gaffer runs Man U. That always has, because I'm 27, so all I've known is Sir Alex. So all we do is respect our managers. But when you take the piss and purposely lose to get 200 or 300 million in the summer, because that's what he did. He lost to get a bigger budget for the transfer window, because if you go to quarters and dare I say, go to the semis, the board, knowing our board, would have been thinking, look, we're good enough. Do you get what I'm saying, Mark? But yeah, I just want him to go. I have no attachment to him. He's completely lost purposely and then disrespected Man U. We lost to Porto when we were going through a transitional phase, which was between 03, 04 and 2006, 2007. Yeah, as soon as we built another team again, which took Alex 4 years, 3 years, I mean, 07, 08, when we started winning Prems in Champions League again, we went to 3 finals in 4 years. And then we went to something like 5 semi-finals in 7 years. And then 13 quarterfinals in 17 years. Like put some respect on my club, you donut, you clown of a man, talking about you sat here and put, bro, hurry up and come out my club, Jersey. Hurry up and come out. Cause I don't think you know who Man U are or who Man United fans are. Like, hurry up and come out my club, you clown. I don't even want him sacked because he's a necessary evil. Jose Mourinho is a necessary evil. What I mean is, if you see with Chelsea, he built a squad and Kante comes in and win the Prem because he knows how to build a great squad. So I think we need him because he's excellent in the transfer market. So come buy some more players in the summer, make our squad better, and the next manager come in and take over. I have no attachment to him no more. He completely violated my club. Like I felt completely disrespected. Like I take Man U personal. I don't know about Man United. I know some fans don't like when I say Man U. I take Manchester United very personal. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a football guy. It's for the working class. Sometimes that's what makes you happy for the whole week. It makes your whole 5 days at work.
Yeah, you're
Like,
right.
I don't think this guy understands what he's doing, fam. Hurry up and leave my club. Sorry about the venting, Mark, man.
No, really good call, Shane, and I'm sure we'll hear from you again.
Stop, man.
Cheers, pal. Very passionate, and basically saying that Mourinho threw it on Tuesday night with his selections because he wants more money in the summer. Who knows? Samuel R says, can't wait for Mourinho to go so we can enjoy watching United play again. Feel sorry for some of the players too. To recap, yet again, I mean, I was doing this show tonight to talk about Brighton, to talk about his press conference yesterday. That's sort of now gone. He's basically come out after the game and said that some players lack class, they're hiding, they've got no desire. My big frustration at the end of that game was that the build-up play is so slow, the creativity is so slow, and it clearly comes from the coaching ground. Mourinho's come out and said, I'm not happy, they're hiding, the build-up play's too slow, they're not creating enough chances. We've not been doing that for 3 months, Jose, so are we suddenly now going to believe you because you're saying the same things as us after one game when we've not been doing it for 3 months and you're angry about it now? I'm confused. I'm confused. He's moaning about the same things we're moaning about. He's throwing his players under the bus publicly, but we've been playing like this for 3 months. So I want to believe him because if he is saying, well, we're not playing well in the final third, we're not creating chances, people aren't making the right sort of runs, that's exactly what we're saying as fans. But it's not a one-off. This has been going on for 3 months, so surely that reflects on him and his coaching staff that they can't coach them to play the right way. And also, I've got to say, I don't think people like Juan Mata, Jesse Lingard and Anthony Martial, it's not in their DNA to be slow defensive attackers. They are attackers. I think they've been told to do that. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know where it's going now. It's really weird what Mourinho's just come out and done. Zahud says, after every game he creates a new excuse. 6 shots at home in the last 3 games, says Darth Vader. That's shocking. Good call, but Shaw has to answer for his own state. Look. The graphics were there. I was just looking at them. Luke Shaw and Ashley Young do exactly the same thing in both halves. But Luke Shaw's the one who gets the stick. Interesting. I want to take another call. I'm very interested to see what people have got to say, especially in relation to what Jose's said tonight. I think it's very, very interesting. Hello, can you hear me?
You all right, Mark?
Oh, Paul, how you doing? All right?
Yeah, not too bad, you?
To be honest, I've got to be totally honest. I'm very happy to be in the FA Cup semi-final. I'm a little bit. I don't really know what to make of what Jose said there because I think he's actually taken a pop at my favourite player, and I'm getting a bit tired of the agendas that I don't agree with Luke Shaw being taken off at half time. Ashley Young did nothing more in the second half, and for me, he's clearly having a go at Martial, saying that he's got no desire and he's hiding. And I think he's the only player who actually wanted the ball. I thought Lingard was a joke today, but it won't be Lingard he's having a go at.
No, because he's got his favourites. That's the problem. I mean, don't be fooled by a very intelligent man. He just said in his press conference exactly what we want to hear, so we won't give him stick. Was it the question was it the game he wanted? No, it wasn't. We weren't attacking enough. I mean, how obvious is that? How obvious is the fact that it wasn't attacking enough? And he has to say that to appease the fans because he's getting so much shit. He's a very intelligent, sly man. He knows what to say, and he knows how to deflect. That whole 12-minute rant, pure deflection. I mean, didn't mention the actual game once. All he did was through statistics of how good a manager he used to be. I mean, I've been going over it in my head, and I promised myself not to talk about it, but it's such a wind-up. I mean, how stupid does he think we are? He's taken us for mugs, Mark.
I think he has tonight.
He's taken us for unintelligent football fans that just go up, rock up, watch football, go home, go to work. It's not like that. We have opinions. We have valid opinions. We don't know what we're talking about in terms of, we're not football managers, but we know what we're talking about in terms of football, what we like, what we enjoy, what we want to see. And he is not providing that, and he's not admitting that he's not providing that. He's just saying he's a winner. No one likes him because he wins. You know, the agenda is so clear and transparent, and he thinks, what, we're not going to see through it. I mean, it's hard to take as a football fan and a Man United fan that he takes us as such stupid mugs.
Well, I mean, I think when you look at what happened tonight, we end this watch along, we go live, and you know, I have my couple of minutes before I start taking calls, and I said, look, watching United today, we played a team that parked the bus, and we had lots of possession in the final third, and it's clear to me that if you watch Liverpool, Spurs, Man City, not every attack they make comes off, unless you watch Match of the Day, and then it does. But if you actually watch them for 90 minutes, not every shot they take goes on target, not every through pass they make comes off. But eventually it does, because they take risks in the final third. You know, Liverpool in 20 minutes against that Brighton team would probably try 8 different types of attack. United in 20 minutes will try none, because instead of trying the risk pass, they'll play the sideways pass, or they'll just retain possession, and it's side, back, forward, side. And that is clear. He can't throw. What he's come out and done after the match is say, players lack desire, they're hiding on the pitch, they've got no class. I'm really frustrated. They're not doing what I want them to do. But he forgets 2 things. One, that is, you know, like you said, we're not mugs. Most of us have watched football for years. Some of us have played football. A lot of us have watched things like Monday Night Football, so you get to understand the tactical side of things. That, for me, from United tonight and the last 3 months, that's what winds me up, is this is not a one-off. If he'd come out after the game after a one-off and said, oh, we didn't attack well tonight, we've been playing like this for 3 months. You know, since the City game at home, we've been playing like this. So 1, if that is the case, why has he not done anything about it? But 2, more importantly, for me, watching that game today, it was so obviously coached that that's what we're doing. We're told not to take risks. It's clear.
That's Jose Mourinho's tactics, though. Risk-free. Risk-free, what he does, he buys very expensive, very good players, trains them how to defend, puts them in proper positions, says don't move out those positions. Do not be caught out of those positions. That's why Luke Shaw went off today, because he was caught out a couple of times. And if you do, there'll be reprisals, and they'll remove you from the team and put someone else in who knows how to follow orders. He doesn't say go and attack or express yourself, but what he says is, and when we do have possession, you guys are good enough to go and win the game for me. And if you don't, I will replace you with someone who will. You know, it's, as the last caller said, is pretty perfect. He doesn't coach. He doesn't coach football. What he does, he makes people work 200% in training, running about, keeping fit, and then expects them to go on the pitch and win the game for him. Not by his mentoring and coaching and playing a specific way, because you have the talent to do it. One thing about Mourinho, he doesn't. He demands confidence. You know, he doesn't build confidence. He brings someone in. It's like a military thing. You know, break someone down and then build them back up to be a stronger person. And some people, it doesn't work like that with everybody. You know, some people lose confidence. And he said, I wrote a couple of things down. This process he's talking about, I put a question in earlier today. I think Jared read it out. He said process. There's a process. What's the process? Where are we in this process? What's the next step of the process? When in the process do we get better football? When in the process is the style going to change? And what's the end game of the process? And is one more transfer window going to change this process? I mean, it's such bullshit. It just gets, sorry, Mark, it just gets on my tits. I mean, we're not dumb.
I mean, I've got to be honest. The press conference yesterday, I was doing my best to sort of like, you know, see the good and the bad and take everybody on. But I've never ever liked publicly slating players. I don't like it. And that tonight, what he's done is beyond that. It's beyond it. It's his favourites again: Matic, McTominay, Lukaku. Oh yeah, they did everything well, and they did have good games. But it's the same old. You know, we're not stupid. He thinks he's being clever by not naming the players. I know exactly the players he's talking about when he says they've got no class, they've got no desire, they're hiding on the pitch. And to be honest with you, I don't really give a damn what people think about Martial. I do like him, but I will not have this myth about lack of effort or hiding. Throughout that whole 90 minutes, he was constantly coming short to get the ball. Why is he coming short to get the ball? Because Mourinho wants to live in this fantasy world where Matic and McTominay are really, you know, they're being abused because they can't find the pass forward because no one's making the runs. If people aren't making the runs, why is Martial having to come to get the ball off them the whole game? Because they haven't got the passing range to do it. Again, I just think he thinks people are idiots, and he you said it yourself, Paul. He thinks he's got all the answers, and he's trying to feed it out. And the reality is, I think what he is doing, he's trying to turn us against players that he wants to get rid of in the summer. That's what I think it is.
It's the domino effect, Mark. It's of the way he plays football. He wants his defenders to be absolute animals. They can't play football. They have to defend really deep, which means the midfield have to come and get the ball off the defence, which means the attack is detached from the midfield, which means there's nobody breaking the lines, which means when the midfield to get the ball from the defence, they have to carry the ball up towards the attack. The attack come towards the ball. By the time we've done this, the opposite team's got into 2 banks of 4, knows exactly what's going on. We're so predictable. They can read the game. They know exactly what we're going to do. If I see Smalling ever pass forward rather than pass to each right back or left back, you can just tell you straight away he doesn't even look. So basically, everyone gets dragged out of position. There's too much space either between the defence and the midfield, or the midfield and the attack at one time. We don't move in a unit. We don't all push up, all come back, stay in shape, then move around to create space, and then use that space properly. We don't do that. It's just completely... One question I wanted to ask, do you reckon, we're bored? Obviously, we're not all bored. I know I'm being negative, and I hate the fact that I am. God, it just pours out of me sometimes. But do you think the players are thinking, I'm bored, I'm bored of this. This is why I'm losing, this is why I'm not really being as effective. I haven't really got the passion on the pitch because I'm bored. I just want to play football. I don't want to be in position. I don't want to get shit canned if I'm out of position.
I do agree. I was thinking about it in the second half, and I don't think I said it on the watch along, but I actually had a very similar thought. I was like looking at Martial and Mata and Lingard, to be fair, and I thought, you know what? I wonder if in their head they're thinking, I wish I was at Man City or Liverpool, where I wouldn't be forced to track back all the time, work back. When I get the ball, I'm not allowed to express myself. I guarantee you, as a footballer, you've got a short career, haven't you? You've got a short career. I actually think Martial won't be far off the point tonight, having been publicly humiliated unfairly yet again. I think he'll be on his phone to his agent saying, look, I love playing at Manchester United, I love the fans, but I ain't working for this idiot anymore. Get me a move to a club. Get me a move to a club where I'm allowed to express myself, and I'll show the world what I'm all about. I don't need this. And that, but the same goes for Mata. Mata looked annoyed at coming off, and
And do you
Lingard's
think,
not a number 10, to be fair.
Do you think the teaching a pragmatic defensive style to flair players, to attacking players, do you think that makes them better players? Positional sense, control, not partnerships, not pushing on as a player. This is how you stay in position. This is how you don't get reprisals from the manager. Do you think that makes them better players, or do you think coaching a specific system and teaching them how to overlap and etc. I don't know exactly what he does, but I don't think that defensive mentality that he's got makes them better players as flair players.
I think every manager is a dictatorship.
I
think every manager is a dictator. I mean, everyone says Mourinho's a dictator. Of course he is. Pep's a dictator. Klopp's a dictator.
Well, they have to be.
But it's just the message that they put out, isn't it? And the dictatorship can be a bad one, or it can be a good one. I mean, I've seen Pep Guardiola on the training ground, and as much as I call him Fraudiola, because it just frustrates me that everywhere he's been, he's had an open checkbook, and I'd love to just see him exposed properly. And I don't mean like exposed, like he'd get exposed as a bad manager. I would like Pep Guardiola to come to Manchester United tomorrow, take our club on for a year with the players we've got, and not be allowed to spend any money. Then we'd see what a good manager is. But I tell you what, we would see better football. I don't know whether we'd win the league with this set of players, but we'd certainly see better football because his ideology, Pochettino's ideology, Klopp's ideology, Wenger's ideology, actually, yeah, some of them haven't won trophies, but their ideology is all about entertaining football. Mourinho's ideology is about winning games. It's not about entertaining football.
You said it yourself, Mark. I think I can't remember. I think it was on the excellent show you did with Sophie and Flex. You said, "Look at the way Tottenham went out of the Champions League." Excuse me, and look at the way we went out. Excuse me. Tottenham went out with their philosophy, playing good football, and got you know, they were unlucky to go out. But you looked at the performances and you were like, God, they played well. You know, they knocked it about. They're unlucky to concede, but we were complete opposite.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've taken enough time up. Appreciate the time, mate.
No worries, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, love it. Cheers. Bye.
Ta-da. I'm just very, very, very disappointed tonight. Biosphere says, I just want him to leave before everything is ruined. And Nightmare TV saw a video of Ferguson the other day talking about his last-minute goals. He explained he liked to take risks even if they didn't always work, and how it's his job to get the fans home happy. Yeah, you are right. You are right. I am going to take more calls. I'm just interested. Although we are live, I might be able to get him up anyway. Let's have a look. I'm not negative. Get rid of that idiot who says I'm negative. I've stuck by this manager forever, and I'm still sticking by this manager. But I'm not happy with what he said afterwards, because I don't like players being thrown under the bus when he's the one. Hello, Flex. You're right. I'm live at the moment. I just thought I'd take your call quick.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we're just in a couple hours editing the videos and the fan cams and stuff. It's interesting. What's happened? What has he said about Pogba and Martial? What's happened?
Well, he hasn't named them specifically, but what he said after the game is that I'm really frustrated with that performance. We weren't creating enough chances. We weren't moving the ball enough in the final third, which is right. But we haven't done that for 3 months. So why is he saying it now? And then he said certain attackers were hiding. They lack class, and they're not showing enough desire.
Wow.
Which, you know, I think he's talking Luke Shaw, Martial, really. Again, I can't see who else he's talking about.
Luke Shaw, for me, I thought was really poor. First half, like, I don't know what it looked like where you guys were watching it from, but from where I was sitting, he just looked so reluctant to go forward into big open space, reluctant to take his man on, and just rusty and unfit, and which is kind of understandable because he's hardly ever in the side. So that's obviously down to Mourinho as well. But you know, he's got to try and find a way to try and play, you know, more attacking when he does play. So that's why I went with Young there. But just in general, with our performance today, it's just so poor. Like, you know, I don't want to dwell too much on it because at the end of the day, all that mattered was the result. Is a knockout competition. But after the negativity that's been going around for the last week, you're thinking, all right, we're at home to Brighton. Let's try and put in a good, solid performance. And we didn't get it. We didn't get that today. And that's what annoyed me most. We didn't get it.
And what was the atmosphere in the ground like today?
To be fair, the first sort of 10, 15 minutes, it was okay. We were singing and people were trying to get on board. It wasn't packed, by the way. It wasn't sold out. A lot of spare tickets, empty seats. That could have been because of the snow and the weather and the late kickoff. But the atmosphere wasn't too bad. But then as the game wore on, that's where we started to see that atmosphere sort of go flat. The frustration kicks in. Luckily, we got that first goal when we did. But the second half, it was dreadful. I mean, Brighton had 4, 5, 6 maybe chances that I looked at and thought, we're hanging on here. This is not good. We're not on the front foot. And it was a smash and grab in the second half. You know, technically, we didn't deserve anything out of that second half. We didn't create anything from open play that I can remember. Nothing. Apart from that the set play that we scored from, there was absolutely nothing. And it was just annoying. It was more annoying to see. After the week we've had, it was just more annoying to see that performance.
So he's basically said lack of personality, class and desire of some of his players tonight.
Which is kind of true.
Yeah, but I still think it comes back. You know what? I'm surrounded by so many people that are Mourinho out at the moment that maybe it's starting to rub off on me. I mean, I'm not Mourinho out. All I am is just very confused and frustrated. But again, I think what's still frustrating me the most is there is no accountability from him. It is always somebody else's fault. It's the players now. It's the history of the club. It's, you know, it's never him. It's never him. It's never what his coaching staff has done, and it's never him. And I think that is what is tiring to a lot of fans. I don't necessarily. I actually quite liked Luke Shaw's first half performance, but I do realise some did and some didn't. What I would say is Ashley Young offered zero anything different to what Luke Shaw did in the second half.
He didn't. He wasn't even better. I did think with Ashley Young coming on, if I'm honest, I did say to the guy next to me, I was like, to be fair, Ashley Young might not be the best left back, but he will try and go forward, he will cross the ball, he will take the player on, and you're right, we didn't even get that, but I think that was due to just the performance in general was so bad. But on what you was just saying about Mourinho, some of the fans I've been speaking to tonight, which you guys will see very shortly, they said just basically what you just said. They wanted to see him, especially after the Sevilla press conference, come out and take accountability for what we've just seen. And he just deflected it. And some people might say it's very smart for Mourinho, but I'm in the boat of I want my manager to stand up and say, I got this wrong, or we went wrong here, and not just come out and repeat our history to us that we already know. We're paying you to get us out of this situation and you know, make us better. Not tell us how bad we've been, etc., and say, well, why are you surprised because this is the norm for your club? That's not what we're paying you to do. So, you know, it's interesting that he's made those comments again now, because that just adds to it, to just not taking responsibility and this deflection. I just don't like it. I want him to just, you know, he kind of did it at the end of yesterday's press conference, which was to say, I'm facing it head on. I'm the first one out in the tunnel. I'll face it. I don't shy away from my responsibilities. I'm here to fight. I did like that, because it took me a while. When I first had that second press conference, I was still mad. But then when I listened to it again and then got near the end of it, I realised what he was really trying to say, and he made some decent points. But it's just that deflection, and I think if he's not careful, he's just gonna keep losing fans and the faithful, and it's gonna be a long road to get them back.
How far are we after the fan cams going up?
You should get the first one sort of within the next 15 minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right, guys, I'll leave you to it. Thank you.
Cheers, Flex. I'll speak to you in a bit, pal.
Cheers.
Ta-da.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I just think the problem with a live show is there's nowhere to hide, is there? There's nowhere to hide, and I'm just very frustrated and confused. On the Luke Shaw situation, I'm not going to be hypocritical. I said it in the week. I think Luke Shaw's finished at United, and you know what? As long as we go and get Alexandro, I'm not bothered. You know, football moves on, and you cannot live. You know, I think Luke Shaw could have been the right player, but I think Paul Scholes is right. It wouldn't matter if Luke Shaw was the best left back in the world. I think Mourinho would find a problem with him. There's clearly something about him he doesn't like. It's just not going to work out. Let's move him on. Let's get a left back. Martial's a bit different. I'm starting to get to the point that Martial needs to leave United now. Mourinho again clearly doesn't like the player. I really do. I'm getting to the point myself now where I think just go to another club, show everybody what you're all about, and then all those United fans of Mourinho who said he's not good enough and he's lazy, they'll see him for what he is. I'm sort of tired of the Martial battle now. I watched him today and I thought he was the only player who wanted the ball with Mata. Kept coming very deep all the time. I don't know what Mourinho's talking about Matic and McTominay not having the passes forward, because why was Martial having to come close to get it? You know, I don't know. I'm never a big fan of players being publicly berated anyway. I've never been a fan of it. Van Gaal used to do it, and I used to go mad about it. Remember, he did it. He did it to somebody. He did it to a couple of players, and I never liked it. So I don't like that. I'm not Mourinho out. I'm not Mourinho out. We've won tonight. We're in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. We're second in the league, and I think we'll beat Swansea in 2 weeks' time after the international break. And then, as I said before, the Man City game is the one that it's going to be all about. That's when everyone's going to judge him. Jamie Wanchwich says, what would happen if the players launched the coup, ignored Mourinho and played their own style of offensive football? He'd just drop them all, wouldn't he? I think Mourinho is more than capable of losing a dressing room. Did it at Chelsea. I don't think he'll lose the dressing room. I think there's too many players at Manchester United who've got responsibilities and understand what the club's all about to start doing something like that. And I would for one, like many of you lot, would be absolutely furious if the players turned on the manager, because no matter what, the club and the badge come first. Got a few comments to read out. Jack Carr says, I really don't think Mourinho has the winning mentality anymore. What he said in his press conference was not something a motivated winning manager would say. Mourinho is so obsessed controlling the game that it gets so passive that he loses control, says Bjorn Lundberg. Robbie MUFC says, Mark, have you seen Mourinho's post-match interview? If not, watch it. It's a promising, mate. Samuel R, can't wait until Mourinho is gone so we can enjoy watching the United play again. Biosphere, he is Don Mark. The question is long or short. Goodbye. He's lost the fans, lost the dressing room. Go now, says Cockney Red. Rishi says, Jose like mediocre players because they will work like donkeys. Players like Ronaldo and Martial will give him the boot eventually. I lost all respect for this man with his tonight's dig at Martial. David C. Hey, hi Mark, it's simple of Jose. Stays United lose De Gea, Martial and Shaw, so I'd rather see Jose go than those players. And interesting opinions. Please do drop a like on the video, because it's nice when people drop a like on the video, but more importantly, we've had some good calls tonight, and it's important to support people who call in. You know what, as well, please do support the channel and like the video anyway, because it's very difficult to be sat in this chair, and I never say this, it's very difficult to sit in this chair, be bombarded with live stuff from you, from Mourinho, and the frustration that everybody's feeling at the moment, and try and play both sides. It's difficult, and to be honest, a couple of times tonight I've actually thought about stopping doing it, because I don't like the abuse. I do my best. I try to, you know, give my opinion, take your opinion, take others' opinion, and I don't really appreciate being... this is exactly why I nearly stopped doing it when we had Van Gaal, because people start making it personal, and it's pressure. It's pressure to do this. It's not easy to sit and do this for an hour after watching a match and try and field both sides of it. So if you think it's funny... I mean, my bloody chest was hurting. I'm getting quite stressed about this. It's like, I'll just stop doing it. I don't need to do this and have all this pressure from you lot. So, you know, either support the channel or don't fucking watch it. It's as simple as that, isn't it? You know, everybody's got an opinion. We've always backed people for an opinion. So just, you know, I don't need that sort of stress in my life. So if you don't like it, I try to give both sides, and it's not easy. Hi, I'm Burb. Jose talks about class and desire, but he's more interested in playing Fellaini contract politics than succeeding in Europe. Can't like the video when there is no second voice and everybody is Mourinho in. Lamia aside, I think you need to open your ears up, mate. Nobody needs to apologise there. I'm not bothered about people saying you're Mourinho in or Mourinho out, but what I don't like is people calling it negative, the negative stand and this, that and the other, when there's a real lot of work that goes in and a lot of comments going both sides. We're trying to cover both sides here, and people just come on with, oh, you're just being negative. Like, you know, I don't believe that we are. I really don't. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. We've got fan cams coming up very, very soon. I'm going to go and do my player ratings as well. I'm going to go and watch that Mourinho interview, because it's very hard when you're just getting little bits, little clips, and people are saying, he didn't say this, he did say this, he didn't say this. I'm live straight after the game for an hour. I don't really get to watch it. I get bloody subtitles and what you say, so it's very, very difficult. So if I do catch things out, you know, I'm only human and I'm live, and I think people expect the United stand to be spot on and me to be totally flawless with my opinions. I've never said that my opinion is any better than any of yours. I've never preached something I don't believe in, and I don't believe in Mourinho out. I'm sorry, I don't. But I don't believe a lot of what you've said tonight either. So, you know, I think I agree with everybody's opinion because it's their opinion. I agree with some things about the Mourinho out campaign. I believe in some things in the Mourinho in campaign. And I believe some of the people who are sat on the fence at the moment. My opinion really shouldn't sway your opinion. You've got your own opinion. And as Paul was saying, everybody's, you know, you're not stupid. Make your own mind up. Just what really starts to irritate me is when I start to see people attacking people about their opinion. Grow up. Awash Mahmood says, don't worry about what people say, you're great. Well, thanks for the support. Look, I just want people to support the channel. I don't give a damn about what people think about me. I just want people to support the channel because I think it's a really good outlet for people to come on and share their opinions. Because 20 years ago, I used to get frustrated by results. There was nowhere to do it, and that's what it's there for. But it's not easy. It's not easy to do it, and I'll just stop it. Not the show. I'll just stop the after show, because this is the show that people seem to get really aggressive and abusive with each other, and start having a pop at the channel and stuff like that. When all we have ever tried to do is give everybody a voice. If not enough people aren't phoning in and being Mourinho out for you or Mourinho in, pick up the bloody phone and do it yourself. It's not a phone. It's Skype, but you know what I mean. I'm having a little bit of a vent and my hair's messed up, but look, at the end of the day, we're in the FA Cup semi-final, aren't we? Fan cams are going to be interesting, and I shall speak to you all very soon. 8 o'clock show tomorrow night, and we've got all the fan cams coming up in the next half an hour, so I'll speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.